Right foot to top. Doncaster Rovers have done it.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan channel, and welcome to this DRFC match preview. Now, today we are previewing Fleetwood. Now, Fleetwood away. Now, Fleetwood haven't won their last 5 games. However, Fleetwood is a big bogey team for Doncaster Rovers. So, this is going to be a tough one. Please like the video if you loved it. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe if you're new around here. Click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. And let's get straight into this one. So, let's talk about Fleetwood. So, Fleetwood for me are an interesting team. I think Fleetwood are a very interesting team. I think that overall, like I said, they haven't won in 5. They've not been on the greatest run of form in the world. I think that Fleetwood are really going to struggle. I think if they're going to stay up, it's going to be only just. I don't think Fleetwood are beyond safe. I think they're in just as much danger as we are, as Morecambe are, as Wimbledon are, as Gillingham are, and I'd say Crewe is in more danger than all 6 of us, but I think that the rest of us are not too far behind each other. I think the rest of us are sort of on the same wavelength, whereas Crewe are sort of quite a bit below, because I think they're sort of cutting adrift. So I think that for us anyway, I think it's a very crucial weekend coming up, because if we win this game, if we get that win on the board and make it 6 games without a win for Fleetwood, we will only be 1 point behind safety, especially if everyone else loses. And then if we win the next game as well and everyone else loses around us again, and our luck goes our way again, and we actually do it ourselves for 2 games in a row, we could be out the drop zone for the first time this season. Which is embarrassing enough. But, yeah, I think it was definitely very interesting. Now, I don't know if you heard the Radio Sheffield interview from McSheffrey. It definitely sounded like he was hinting towards backroom changes, which, you know, we don't know what they are yet. We don't know if that means new coaching staff. We don't know if that means new staff behind the scenes working on transfers or something like that. So, I mean, from the sounds of it, I mean, take of it what you will, but I think from Gary McSheffrey's point of view, thinking long term, that says to me that he's here to stay. And I know some people are going to be going online now saying, oh, you know, possible backroom changes, hinting towards Gary McSheffrey staying on as manager, you know. I've said my stance. You know, was Gary McSheffrey my first choice for manager? No. When you look at the names of people that were linked to the job, would I prefer some of those over McSheffrey in terms of experience? Then yes. But I think the appointment of Gary McSheffrey was always going to be a longevity appointment. It wasn't going to be a here and now appointment. And if we stayed up in the here and now, it'd be a hell of a lot better situation. But I think the most likely scenario that we were looking at was League 2 football. So, because the first 6 months did the damage. Gary McSheffrey tried his best, and if we go down, you know, the damage was already done in the first 6 months. In terms of if we stay up this season, which after these next couple of games we could do, we could be in a position where we are out the drop zone and we are in the best possible chance of safety, because we've won the most games out of the bottom 6, which is weird, I know, but you know, weirdly enough, there's still hope. That's the weird thing about it, there's still hope. So I think it's going to be a very interesting watch. I think that, like I said, Fleetwood are going to be very interesting opponents. I think that, like I said, Stephen Crainey's side haven't been on their best form at the moment right now. Like I said, last 5 games, haven't won any of them. So Fleetwood are going to be really, really trying to stay up. Some Wimbledon fans are really saying they're going to go down. So some Wimbledon fans believe they're going to be down. So Wimbledon at least will take one of those bottom 4 spots. Crew, I think, are down. So it's just down to us, Gillingham, Morecambe and Fleetwood to see who takes those last 2 spots. Morecambe could be in trouble. Gillingham's form could keep them safe. Could you imagine if it was us and Gillingham staying up and Wimbledon and Fleetwood going down? What a turnaround for both our seasons when it looked like both of us were in the mix to go down 100%. But now that 100% from 6 months ago has turned into, let's be realistic here with the mathematical situation, a 70 to 30, it maybe even 65 to 35% either way of staying up or staying down. So, you know, in fact, I go as far to say that some matches it felt like were 50-50 staying up or staying down. It could go either way. It could go halfway. So, you know, I think it's something to keep an eye out for. Now, in terms of my predicted lineup, obviously we've had some big injury news today, which I'm going to talk a little bit about as well. First of all, Tom Anderson and Fajiri Okunabira, it looks like their seasons are over. And do you want me to be brutally honest? If they don't sign a new contract, in fact, no, I'm going to word it a little bit differently. I think if we are sorted in the centre-back position, let's focus on Tom Anderson first of all. We've got Rowe as our captain right now. We've got Younger, we've got Olowu, we've got Williams, we've got... I know Williams doesn't play great in a back 4. I think he's better in a back 3. We've got Olowu, we've got Younger as well. Ben Black's gone to Swansea. So Anderson, for me, it's a hard one because his performances have dipped this season for me. Overall, I think his performances compared to last season, especially the first 6 to 8 months of last season, have dipped. If he's happy to try and start games next season and maybe be some kind of a starting lineup player at times, but would at least half the time be backup, shall we say, to Younger and Olowu, or shall we say starting a back 3 or back up to a back 3 with Williams in there, then, and if he's happy with that, then I would say maybe sign an extra year. If Anderson wants first team football and we can't guarantee him that with Williams, with Younger, with Olowu, and I'm sure that Gary McSheffrey might look at a centre-back in the summer, especially if he goes. If Anderson wants first team football and we can't guarantee him that week in, week out, unless he's injured, I would let him go. And it's hard to say because he was the captain and, you know, when he's on his best, he's a brilliant, brilliant defender. His experience is exactly what the club needs at times like this. But if he wants first team football and we can't guarantee him that ahead of other players that are slightly younger or younger, and, you know, our long-term first team as well as first team now, then maybe it's best if we do move on. I wouldn't, though, be surprised if we sold him for nothing. People say that's right, people say that's wrong. I think if we are going to move him on rather than sign him on a new contract, do it before the contract actually runs out. Agree some kind of pre-contract for next season with a club if he's not guaranteed first team football next season, or if he's not been promised what he wants next season and he decides to move on. You know, agree a pre-contract with a club and get even a little bit of money in for him. You know, even if you have to pay some kind of fee, if we can agree a pre-contract, then I don't know. It's a weird one for me. I know pre-contract is like, you know, you're pre-agreeing a contract with a club when your contract runs out. But if we can pre-agree a contract with a club that'll allow him to join before his contract runs out, but after he's recovered from injury, then that would work as well, because you can get a bit of money in for him then. If there's a way of doing it to get money out of him, then that'd be great. But if we can't do it, I would try and sign him on for an extra 12 months, at least. Okunabiri, again, same situation. Try and get a pre-contract out of him that can be done before his contract runs out, and give him the chance to earn a bit of money from him and let him move to his club when his injury recovers at some point, whenever that is. Or do what do with Ben Blythe. Let them train with another club and agree a pre-contract where you can actually get a bit of money in for him before the contract runs out, and sort of, like Ben Blythe, stay at that club until the end of your contract, and they can join permanently. So that would be the route I would go down with Anderson and Okunabiri if they don't want to stay here. Okunabiri, no offence to him, but I think he's done anyway. I think last season was the last season we see of Okunabiri at the club. I think he's going. I think with the strikers we've got at the club now, we've got Agard, who needs a bit of time. We've got Rio Griffiths, who, in my opinion, is in time, hopefully, the future. We're going to bring in, hopefully, a new striker with Odebeko going back to West Ham at the end of the season. Joe Dadu, in my opinion, should be the put out wide, making the goals rather than trying to score them all the time. Apart from that, I think the thing is with Dadu, he's pretty much had a full season, nearly had a full season, because obviously he joined sort of a few days after the transfer window ended because we failed on Will Grigg, and Ed O'Brien, but that was Sunderland's fault. But Joe Dadu for me is a hard one because he's completed nearly a full season. Should I judge him on one season, or should the second season syndrome make him worse or better? I don't know. It's a hard one for me. I know people saying, why are you giving Dadu another chance? Get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. But realistically, how are we going to get any kind of continuity with the squad every year if we keep creating a new squad every year? There's some players that you're going to have to keep for a good year or two more until you can replace that player with an even better player. That's what continuity is. Bring out 3 or 4, bring in 3 or 4. Bring out 3 or 4, bring in 3 or 4, and gradually build up that squad. So, and especially with what Gary McSheffrey was hinted to in backroom changes, bring in the backroom changes, bring in the people that we need back behind the scenes to make the situation better, to make Gary McSheffrey's situation better, and take the weight off his shoulders, because that's what we need to do as a football club right now. Whether we're League 2 or League 1 next season, that's what we need to do. If you want me to be honest, bring in a sporting director, bring in a full scouting network to help Graham Younger, because Graham Younger can't do the job by himself. He can't. That's just way too much pressure. So again, bring in a scouting network to work with Graham Younger. People are saying get rid of Graham Younger. Again, he's only been here a year. I'll give him another chance. January window was so much better than the summer, so there is hope there. Especially if these signings keep us up from where we were in December. We were like 11 to 14 points off safety. So, it would work in my opinion. So give Graham Younger a full scouting network to work with. Give ourselves a director of football, a technical director, a sporting director, something like that. Get some more medical people in, help the medical department, because that's clearly been hindered this season with how many injuries we've got, how many setbacks we've had. And just let's see what happens when we get the people behind the scenes. Let's see what the manager does with the players that he helps to bring in, with a full scouting network and some kind of director, in between the football and business side of things of the club. Let the full backroom staff take its place. Let the work take place. If we bring in great signings and everyone's buzzing and everyone's excited, great. And then we see what Gary McSheffrey does with those players, as well as the players from this season. If he doesn't succeed and we're in this position again, or we're in the bottom half of League 2, Gary McSheffrey must go. And then we bring in a new manager and see what he does with the group of players, and a full window, by the way. For me, the club, if Gary McSheffrey doesn't work out next season, if we're in the relegation zone in League 1 again next season, or we're in the bottom half of League 2, get him gone before the January window, because then you get a full window with a manager. Don't make the Butler mistake. Don't give him no window to work with, because you're just setting him up for failure here with a squad that he may not want to work with. So yeah, Anderson, Okunabiri. I think Okunabiri's done in the Rovers shirt. Anderson, 50-50 at the moment. Bostock's back. I think he'll be in the squad. Gary McSheffrey said he probably won't start. Well, hinted the fact that he might not start. So I think Bostock will be on the bench again. Clayton's back after his suspension. I think he'll be on the bench again. Or he may not be involved at all. You never know. Griffiths is back, hopefully. And Young is back, hopefully. So fingers crossed. That's all good. So let's have a look then at my predicted 11 for the game. So I've gone with the 3-4-3. Now, we may not have used this formation. To be fair, I think we have technically, because we sort of played we sort of made it look like a 5-2-3 a couple of times. I do remember using a 5-2-3 or a 3-4-3, one of the two, at some point. But no, I've gone with Jonathan Mitchell in goal, back three of Olowu, Williams and Younger, Rowe and Noyle as wing backs, Galbraith and Smith in the middle. I've gone with Martin on the left wing or left inside forward, Odebeko as right inside forward or right wing, and Griffiths leading the line. I'll probably have Bostock on the bench, Clayton on the bench, Jones, Barlow, Agard, Hewula, and probably Horton or Clayton, one of the two. It is a risk where you don't put much defenders on the bench, to be honest, but you get what I mean. But let's have a look now at my prediction for the game, my scoreline prediction, and my final summarising thoughts. So, in summary, I believe that I think we could give Fleetwood a good game. Like I said, they haven't won in 5, so I think we've got a good chance to give them a good game here in this game. I'm going to predict, now this might be a bold prediction, I'm going to go with Fleetwood 0, Rovers 2. I think we're going to turn up in this one. I think we're going to learn from Gillingham, learn from Cheltenham, and actually bounce back on this one. I think we're going to go for a 2-0 win. Fleetwood's winless run out of 5 isn't great, so I think we might take advantage of that, even though Fleetwood's a bogey team. Accrington was a bogey team. We beat them. We beat Sunderland for the first time in our history in a league game at the Stadium of Light, telling 38,000 odd people to sit down, shut up, and is this a fire drill and all that lot. Memories I'll always cherish. But no, I think this is another bogey team that we'll overcome, and I think that, I'm confident for 3 points. So if we don't get 3 points, I think we're down. But there we are, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching this preview. The review is coming tomorrow. Stay tuned, because this is going to be a mad one. I am the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan. Goodbye.
Right foot to top.